Okay, there we go. Oh, oops, flashing a little bit. Hey, everybody. Hello, friends. Happy Friday. Actually, I think for those of you in Australia, it's already Saturday. But today, here in the United States, in Florida, where I am, it is Friday. And I'm looking forward to connecting with you today and creating some great live work. And before we get started, I'm just going to talk a little bit and wait for everybody to gather. I've had a really fun thing happen. Yesterday, I was invited by fellow practitioner and my friend Brad Yates to participate in a Christmas video collage that he's doing. And that'll be out, I think he launches that next week. So I'll give you some information in here on that because that's going to be pretty much fun. I'm excited about that. And let's see. I want to talk to you just a little bit because so many of you are using the library here, which is great. And the way that you access it is completely different depending on whether you're on a cell phone or a computer. If you're on a laptop, it shows, yeah, I've got the instructions under featured for that. And I think I have the instructions for cell phone access there too, but please do make use of this library. And when you are tapping in this group on one of these lives, I want you to tap along with everything, not just the thing that you think is also your issue. I want you to tap along with everything and do the same thing with the replays, even if you think it isn't your issue. And the reason for that is that there is a thing in the tapping world called borrowing benefits. And what that means is that you get a surprise benefit tapping along for someone else's and speaking out loud for somebody else's issue. And this is an unexpected benefit that you will receive, and it happens pretty much almost every time we work. And a lot of people just leave it at that, but I want to explain why that happens so that you have a clear understanding of why you want to tap along with everything. All humans come equipped with exactly the same set of emotions. That's just straight across the board. So even though we are tapping for someone else's issue, for instance, if they have pain in their knee, we're working, and you know this from working with me, we're always looking at the emotions and working with the emotions that are underneath that specific pain in the knee. And when we do that, and you tap along and you speak out loud, if there was some, let's say there was some fear in that knee, and all of a sudden maybe you find that your neck doesn't hurt and isn't stiff anymore because you had some fear in your neck and we just turned loose of that. So that's why you want to tap along with everything. And I'm just kind of waiting. I'll just keep talking here a little bit. Okay, I see. Oh, I can see people are on here. Yay! Got 2 or 3 of you on here already. If you would like some tapping help today, please drop that in the chat, in the comments, and I will take these in the order that they come in. And you can, I don't have a lot of limits here, although I do have a preference for working with something that's pain. Sometimes on these, it just goes a different way. So whatever it is you need help with, if you've got even an awful relationship thing going on, or, you know, just whatever you need. And I did just post a new video. Well, it's not a new video, it's an old video, but I just posted it in the group earlier today. And it's a guided meditation that I did maybe a year and a half ago for releasing, I call it for releasing stress. But what I created it for is for people who've had something traumatic happen. And now I'm not talking about, well, you could use it for like long-term, maybe even childhood trauma stuff. But I reposted it today because I had a friend whose son was recently in a motorcycle accident, a very, very serious accident. And he is injured, but he's going to be fine. But she is having trouble getting out of fight or flight mode. She feels depleted, she's scattered, and this meditation is designed to literally help you pull yourself back together again, because when you have that traumatic thing happen that triggers that, it can cause literally pieces of you to scatter and fragment. And we have the term in English, pull yourself together. So that's what this meditation is designed to do, to help you pull yourself together. So I suggest you go back into discussion, and let's see here. All right, so I've got some things in the chat. Genevieve, good morning, dear. I'm just here for your angelic good vibes for now. Thank you. Okay. All right. Charlotte says, hi, I'm in a dark place this time of year, causing emotional pain and physical, mainly shoulder and arthritis pain in my hand and feet. Okay. All right, Charlotte, let's just, okay. Yeah, all right, so Charlotte, we'll work with that first. And Deanna, good morning. Happy to see you in here. Okay, Deanna has pain in jaw and neck from a toothache. Can't get into the dentist till January. Whoa, okay, yikes. I have, and we'll do some work for that. You're second up, Deanna. But I have great videos that you may want to use for tooth pain, jaw pain, and also a dental emergency one. And that dental emergency one, I literally had a woman leave me a comment from using that while she was sitting in the emergency room. And she said that was more relief than any painkillers that they had given her. So that was pretty good. So you can make use of those videos on my YouTube channel, but we'll do some work for you. You'll be second up. All right, and got several of you on here. If anybody else has a request, go ahead and drop it in the chat. You'll be the third up. And if you're on this call and you're a little reluctant, a little unsure about asking for help, please understand this is an easy thing, and it doesn't need to be scary. I don't bite. So drop what you need some help with in the chat. And Deanna says, I used the dental emergency video a few times, definitely helped. Okay, great, good. All right, so Charlotte. Okay, Irma's in here and says, I had a 2-day headache this week and now can't sleep or eat. Okay. All right, we can look at that. You'll be third up on the list, Irma. All right, Charlotte. I'm just considering about the shoulder here a minute. I'm debating whether we want to work with shoulder arthritis. Okay. Charlotte, if you would, you're in a dark place this time of year and it's causing emotional pain, which of course is the precursor to physical pain, and that's showing up in your experience also. I want you to drop in the chat what specific emotions. Don't just say emotional pain. Are you mad? Are you scared? Are you sad? You may have a combination of things, but I want you to, the first one that comes to mind, that's what I want you to drop in the chat, because shoulders are usually feeling of being overwhelmed by something, which may be what you have going on, but it can also be not feeling comfortable expressing yourself. And that may be also. So that's what we want to have you drop in the chat. Lots of trauma, angry, and stress. Okay. All right, so you're angry about trauma. All right. I want you to tell me when this trauma began. When did it happen? How long ago was it? When did it happen? And I want you to think back to what was going on in your life at that time. This would be around the time that all of this pain started. Because when did this start is a really important question. When did this start? And what was going on in your life about that time? I'm just kind of still looking at it a little bit here, and then we're going to go look at the shoulder. It seems to me like maybe we have looked at this. I think we've looked at this before. This pattern looks familiar to me. We have. Okay. Interesting. Okay. All right, Charlotte. This is pretty big trauma for a Facebook Live, but I am going to go ahead and, since you're willing to be vulnerable and share it, we'll work with it. Traumas from 3 years all the way through adulthood. Dad would molest me at family gatherings, and husband raped me at Christmas time. Okay. Okay, give me just a second. I'm not going to have you go in and look at that. Let me just look for a moment here. Okay. All right. Now, Charlotte, if you'll give the pain that you're experiencing just in your head a number before we work with this, between 0 and 10, with 10 being overwhelming pain in the shoulder and arthritis, and just go ahead and rate them both, and 0 being no pain. Go ahead and assign those a number and just make note of it. You know, measure hands, feet, and also the shoulder pain that you've got. Okay, and get a drink of water here and we'll do some tapping. Okay, and before we start, I do want everyone to understand here that I am not a trained therapist. These are big issues. These are things that I do work with regularly with private clients, but there's a limit to what I can do, you know, with this type of major trauma on a Facebook Live. So everybody just understand there are some limitations here, and I appreciate this very vulnerable share, Charlotte. So let's see if we can give you a little help here. Everybody tap with this and for Charlotte. I have a huge amount of pain in my shoulder and terrible arthritis pain, mostly in my hands and feet. But I choose to be okay anyway. Even though I have all this pain, and it gets worse around Christmas, I completely love and accept myself. And I may be open to releasing it now. Even though I've got all this pain from a lot of trauma, and it especially gets worse at Christmas, I choose to be okay anyway. And I profoundly love and accept myself. And I'm open to shifting my perspective so that I can feel better. was molested as a child by my own father, the person who was supposed to love me and protect me. And he didn't do that. But I am alive, and I'm all grown up now. And even though I don't know why this may have happened, and we can all agree that this was a terrible, unacceptable thing for him to do, I give myself permission to begin to understand that he isn't in any pain over this, but I am. And in holding on to this pain, I am allowing him to still have power over me. And I don't want to do that anymore. I allow myself to understand that the way out of this, the way to stop this power struggle, is to forgive him. Not because he deserves it even a little bit, but because I do. Because I was a young, innocent child. I had no control over this. It wasn't my fault. But this terrible thing that happened is still causing me pain as an adult. And because I deserve to be free of this, I allow myself to relax and to forgive this man, my father, for all the trauma he caused me. I forgive him, not because he deserves it, but because I deserve it. It's safe to forgive him. It's safe to let go of all of this pain I'm carrying. I allow myself to relax into forgiveness, to relax my shoulders, to release this pain, to release all that anger that I've been holding. It's safe to let it go. It's safe to let go of all that old anger and fear, because I'm safe. And I completely love and accept myself. And I honor how brave I am. Peace. Okay, Charlotte. You're going to want to come back and do this again, I think, and instead of doing this for your father, do this for your husband, I'm sure he's your ex-husband now, and see if it doesn't help clear that out. So if you would, drop in the chat for us how that tapping landed, and check in with your pain levels. Because I do like to show clear, measurable results on these, and you had probably some pretty big numbers going on before. So drop that in the chat, if you would. Scrolling. Just a second here. I'm trying to, okay. All right, Charlotte says, I feel lighter, and thank you, the pain is down too. Okay, and she says, I've been using your forgiveness one a lot. Okay, good. Shoulders aren't as tight. Okay, can you give it a number with what you had before and what you've got now? Shoulders aren't as tight, pain is better. Okay. If you can quantify it with a number, that'd be great. And drop that in here. And let me scroll back and move to Deanna. Okay. All right, Deanna. Okay. Just getting back to where, okay, pain in the jaw or neck from a toothache. Can't get in the dentist till January. Oh my gosh. I'd probably be looking at a different dentist. But let's, okay, we're going to look at that. I have a recommendation for you also. After this call, I want you to go look at dental reflexology. I think it's dental reflexology. It may be tooth reflexology. Just Google it. And there are charts online that you can look at because each tooth relates to a different specific emotional thing. It's really, really interesting. But we're going to go in and obviously we're going to go in and do some tapping to help you right this minute. All right. So I want you to make note of your pain level right now. Just give it a number. I'm feeling this on my left, but it may be turned around. I don't know. Okay. All right. So teeth have to do with feeling unsupported, uncertain, unsettled, and not like you have a solid foundation. So I want you to think back to the time leading up to when that tooth started to hurt. And just know that this is not, this may sound really strange, but what is it that what was going on in your life then? And I have had this myself with teeth before. As a matter of fact, when our mother was going through the dying process and then finally did die, my sister and I both had that turn up in our teeth, both of us. We each lost a tooth over that. It was interesting. So what was going on in your life around that time before and leading up to when the tooth started to hurt? And also drop in the chat if you would, where is this, upper or lower? Where is this? And is it left or right? I'm still feeling it on that left side when I glance at that. Oh, okay. She says, I also have a fear of going to the dentist. Stems back to my father-in-law and my twin sister's cancer treatments and subsequent deaths. Oh, wow. Yeah, fear that the doctor will hurt me more than help me. Well, yeah, that's a realist. Yeah, okay. Left. Okay, good. All right. Oh, and Charlotte put in her number that she started with was a 5, and now she's down to a 2. Good. Excellent work, Charlotte. All right, Deanna. So what was going on? Give that pain a number and drop in the chat what was going on in your life right before this tooth thing started. And it's probably still going on. It usually is a thing that we just haven't, it's usually an ongoing thing for a while with that, and it's lower left. Okay. So what was going on in your life around that time? Is this a personal thing? Is it a work thing? What's going on? Are you moving, changing jobs, relationship stuff? There's gonna be something in there. Go read what teeth are, because I always like to just look at this. So teeth. Inability to be decisive, not understanding the big picture, impatience, or procrastinating in carrying out plans. Ooh, is there something that you're putting off? Is it a decision that you're putting off? That feels like the one to me. Is there something you need to make a decision about that you are absolutely not wanting to decide? I think that's, just drop that in the chat if you would. And you don't have to be real specific if you're uncomfortable with that. You can be as specific as you would like. This may be the day for vulnerable shares. And in the tapping, we'll definitely incorporate that fear of the dentist. I don't know if I have a fear of the dentist video out. I don't think I do yet, but go ahead and drop in the chat. Father-in-law and twin sisters. Okay. All right. Okay, Deanna's writing, it has taken me 5 years to start moving on from my twin's death. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. I understand that. But I don't think the tooth has hurt for 5 years. We're going to go after this with some big things and address a little bit of that as well. But I want you to tell me what was going on. It'll be something different. It may be something that seemed insignificant at the time, but what was going on? What changed right before the tooth? Or is this the anniversary of her death? Are we getting close to that? Is the holiday season that we're in right now, is that a trigger for this? Because it's possible. What comes up for you with that? Just giving Deanna a moment here too. Okay, if nothing's, I don't think the chat is frozen. I think the chat is working. Go ahead and drop it in the chat. Is it just the holiday season? Is it an anniversary? What have you got going on that would have triggered the tooth? Get a drink of water here. I appreciate the really vulnerable shares that we have today. This not only will help you folks, but it will help everyone. And this will be a part of the library here, and will go on to help many, many more people. So thank you, I appreciate you. Okay, Dan is not putting anything else. Let me see if my oh, there it is. I found out my husband was vaping and it triggered. Okay, there you go. All right, we've got a trigger. Yes. All right, now Deanna says, I found out my husband was vaping and it triggered that fear, loss, death with cancer. Yes. Okay. All right, so just keeping that pain number that you have in that tooth, lower left. And let's do some tapping. All right, everybody, tap along with this one for Deanna. Big stuff here. I have all this pain in my tooth and my jaw, but I choose to be okay anyway. I have terrible emotional pain that's lurking underneath this, but I completely love and accept myself. Even though I've got all this pain in my tooth on the lower left. And I'm even afraid of going to the dentist. I completely love and accept myself. And I'm open to shifting my perspective and my pain level, because I do completely love and accept myself. And I love my husband, and I love my sister, my twin. I allow myself to understand that all the fear I have around going to the dentist stems from the death of my twin and a fear of doctors. And that this fear is keeping me stuck in pain and sabotaging my effort to get into a dentist quickly, because I'm even afraid of the dentist. I allow myself to understand that the dentist is not going to kill me. The dentist will help me. And I give myself permission to begin to feel safe about that, so that I'm no longer blocking getting a quicker appointment. And now I have to look at another really unpleasant thing that scared me to my core, because I found out my husband is vaping. And I believe that that is a dangerous thing that could cause him to get cancer and die. And I've already had so much loss. So of course this thing scared me. I didn't know what to do. I was so angry at him. And he hid it from me. He betrayed me by doing a thing that was really dangerous for his health. And because I am terrified of losing him, because I love him, it brought up all those old fears. And because I didn't have the tools or the ability to process any of this, I stuck all that fear in my tooth. I stuck all that anger in my tooth. Because it's not fair. It's not fair that he would do this dangerous thing. It's not fair that my sister died. Just a second. I give myself permission to begin to understand that I am a powerful eternal being. For me, there is no such thing as death. And there wasn't for my twin either. And even though she had a terrible, difficult time while she was ill, I allow myself to understand that she simply left her physical body and that she is every bit as alive as she ever was. In fact, she left me messages to let me know she was okay more than once. But because I was so distraught, I ignored them. I wrote them off as coincidence. But now I give myself permission to understand what those messages were. I allow myself to relax and let go of some of that grief. It doesn't mean I don't love her and miss her. But I didn't want suffering for her. And she isn't anymore. I allow myself to understand that I can speak clearly and calmly to my husband about vaping. Maybe help him make some better choices. I allow myself to understand that this is a stress response on his part, because he may be absorbing stress from me, because I've certainly had some. I let go of the need to blame myself or anyone. There's no blame here. I allow myself to speak clearly and with love to my husband, and to love him no matter what, because that's the thing he needs most right now. I allow myself to let go of the pain in this tooth as I let go of all this emotional upset. It's safe to let it go now, because I profoundly love and accept myself. Peace. Okay. Dana, if you would drop in the chat how that tapping landed for us and what your pain level was before and is now in that tooth. I hope that that calmed all of those things down a bit for you. Okay. Okay, Irma, let's see. We've done some work for you lately. Let's see how we are on time here. Okay. Irma, we're going to do some tapping for you. I'm not sure. We have worked with you on a live call recently, so I'm going to save that to the end of this and take. We've got a new person in here asking for some help who has not been on before, and in fact, I think she's new in the group. And okay, we will come back to you, Irma, and do a little tapping for you also. But Deanna, go ahead and drop in the group if you would. Okay, here it is. She said, I didn't realize my emotional pain was a 10. Went down to a 2. Tooth pain was a 4 and went away. Okay. Just completely gone. All right. I have to tell you before I move on, and I'll stay on a little longer today on this call. When I stopped, I was feeling very much your sister saying, you know, tell her to remember. Tell her to remember. I did my best. Okay. Thank you, Irma. Bless you. And yes, Lori says she's a newbie. Yes, it'll be all right. Okay, so when I was appreciating that and stopped tapping for a moment and opened my eyes, I'm on a 5th floor apartment. I look out. I have a beautiful view of the Atlantic Ocean here in Florida. And when I looked out over my camera, there was a vulture hovering. And vultures are a powerful thing for me. I considered them family, and it was hovering and looking right in the glass doors at me, just right there in my view, just like 20 feet away. The ancient Egyptians considered vultures to be the go-between from this world to the next. So not to get too woo-woo with this, but that is a very powerful thing to have happen during one of these. So thank you. And I'm really glad about the tooth. Go you. And you may get into the dentist sooner now that you let go of all of that. Good job. Well done. All right, Lori, let's see what you have here. Lori says, I have been feeling lightheaded for months now. Not severe vertigo, but like my eyes and head aren't in balance. It's pretty limiting. Okay. All right. Lori, I'm guessing you maybe came in to this group from doing my vertigo video on YouTube. That's most of the members who end up in this group are coming in from YouTube because they've worked a little bit with that. But the eye thing is, when I look at this, because I am looking at this with you, the eye thing looks like it's more important. It's coming to the front. It's more, the eye thing is actually causing the vertigo and not the other way around. And vertigo has to do with going around in circles or things like that, confusion. But this looks to me like literally something that you're seeing that is just throwing you off balance. So I want to, yes, okay, she says yes. Lori says, my sister passed away last year, so that resonated with me too. Okay, good, good. All right, so you said you've been feeling lightheaded for months. And that's not real specific. I want you to look back, think back how many months, and think back to the time. Close your eyes and relax if you need to, and go back to the time right before and around when you started to feel the vertigo. What was happening in your life? What was going on? What was happening in your life? Because there'll be something going on that you were seeing or in your life that you didn't want to see. Something maybe that was causing confusion, fear, anger. There'll be some situation. It may be personal, it may be work, but think back to right before the vertigo started. What was going on in your life leading up to that time? Started in October, new job started in November. Okay. Okay, it started before you started the new job. Is this new job something that you like? Or is this new job something that you don't feel like you can do or like you're good at? Describe how you feel about the new job and drop that in the chat, because that's where we want to work. That's just a real clear line to that. Took over a teaching job of a lady who retired. Okay, so you walked in the middle of that. Okay. Okay. Her stuff was messy and unordered. Okay, there we go. There we go. I'll bet you we can do some good. All right, so just, yeah, there we go. That's perfect. People almost always know what their stuff is. It's just a matter of asking the right questions. You guys are so brilliant. It's just my job to uncover it. All right, so I don't know if you can give the vertigo a number, but if you can feel it and feel it in your eyes right now, and give it a number, just, you don't need to put it in the chat right now, but just rate it on a scale of 0 to 10, with 10 being overwhelming vertigo. And I don't think you have much, but I'm really noticing it in your eyes. I feel it in the back of my eyes. Yes, you do like teaching. Love the job, working with students again. Yeah, I like teaching. Yeah, I can see that you do. You've just, okay, it's just December. So let's just do this. Let's just tap. Oh my gosh, I have vertigo. And it's turning up from my eyes. But I choose to be okay anyway. Let me scroll back up here. Because I'm here and I'm tapping. Even though I've got this thing going on with my eyes and vertigo, and it might be because I just started a new job. I completely love and accept myself. And I honor all the reasons that this might be happening to me. Because I am okay. I started a new job last month. And all of this vertigo started back in October. Gee, there might be a connection. And while I love teaching, I had to walk into a situation that was just a mess. Because I took over for a teacher who had just retired. And she left a mess. Those kids had not had proper guidance or instruction. The files are a mess. Everything she left me is a mess. And because I had this awful reaction to her mess, her disorganization, and her confusion, because I pick up very easily on the emotions of others, as you do. It really affected me to step into her job. And all of a sudden, my eyes were weird and I had vertigo. I love teaching. I love working with kids. And I'm good at my job. I give myself permission to understand that the woman who retired had not been good at her job for a while. Not because she was a bad person, but because she had other things going on in her life that affected her ability to do her job. She really was doing her best, and it sucked. I allow myself to forgive her for being human. And now I have the job that she left. I give myself permission to release the energetic ties to the teacher who retired. It's safe to let go of that. I'm a good teacher, and I'm capable and competent. And I choose to stand in my power and to do the job the way that I know it should be done. Those kids are flexible. They'll follow my lead. And we'll probably have a break soon over Christmas. It'll give me time to come up with an even better plan for all of us. Because I am super teacher. I let go of the need to have vertigo. I allow myself to stand firm and strong. I choose to see the potential in these people that I am teaching and guiding with clear eyesight, because my vision is clear. And the clearer I see them, the better I can lead them and teach them. It's safe for me to see clearly and to be strong, steady, and stable. I choose to do this for myself and for my students because I can, because I profoundly love and accept myself and all those that I teach. Peace. Okay, I think that went pretty well. If you would drop in the chat, Lori, how that landed for you. You were at a 7 or 8 on the video, on the vertigo before we started. Drop in the chat how that landed for you and how you're feeling now. And I'll stay a little bit longer here. Yeah, and we'll do a little tapping for Irma. I had to check a thing here. Let's give that just a moment here. And as we near the bottom of the hour, if anybody needs to go, that's fine. Don't feel bad about it. But Irma, if you'll stick around, we'll do a little bit. Because I think I know what you've got. I'm just kind of tuning in there a little bit, Irma. I feel weird calling you Irma because I know Irma's not your name. Oh gosh. Okay. All right. We'll do some. Okay. And Lori is replying. She said, "It felt so good to be understood. Thank you." She said, "You nailed it. I have used the word unstable to describe myself, so it's awesome you covered it. I'm so happy and relieved." Okay, can you quantify with a number? You were at a 7 or 8, Lori. Where are you now in terms of your actual number, if you drop that in the chat? I love to be able to demonstrate numerical values for the improvement that people are seeing. Oh, she says, "Now I have a headache because the energy is moving." Okay, stick around here. Energy is moving. And before we tap for Irma, because she's had a 2-day headache, stay on the call, because I want you to understand that energy is just information coming in waves. That's what it is. And there's not a need to have a headache. You can allow that energetic flow. She's at 2 now. Okay. Okay, good. That is well done, you, to go from a 7 or an 8 to a 10. Perfect. All right. And Irma says, "Since my headache, I can't look at food without thinking, how much is that going to hurt if I throw it up? The headache came on in the middle of the night, and now I'm actually afraid to sleep. I am exhausted and hungry. Anxiety is a 10. Okay. All right. I'm looking at this, and it looks to me like the headache thing is a chronic thing for you. I don't think this is a one-time deal. And what I pick up around this is extreme resistance. And this sounds weird, to letting go of punishing yourself. This is making my shoulders hurt. Okay, and Irma says plus probably caffeine withdrawal. No, don't apologize. These things don't stay with me. I'm just appreciating. You don't need to apologize. You aren't harming me in any way. Just to be clear, I will sometimes feel where things are, or feel it's a fleeting thing. It's not even an inconvenience. It's just an interesting thing as I help people process these things through. You don't need to apologize to me, dear. Not ever. I do this work with lots of joy and love, and I don't hang on to any of it. It's a temporary thing. One of my favorite artists, Frida Kahlo, made the comment many, many years ago. She said, I do not think the banks of the river suffer for letting the river flow. So, yeah, don't worry about this. Okay. Let's just do some tapping, Irma, because this is really resistance to letting go of what looks to me like a chronic thing for you. And I have a good video for the downside to letting go of pain. If you have not done that video, and I will drop it back in the group again, because that's a big thing. People think, oh, my life would be just fine if I didn't have this thing going on anymore. Really? So why are you still holding on to it? And I know you're making a very concerted effort to help yourself and to get out of pain, but you've got some resistance there. I'm trying to, it's just a habit, I'll do it again. Okay, let's work with resistance and see if that doesn't at least settle you down so you can get something to eat and, you know, feel a little bit better right now. I gotta have a drink of water. Okay, folks, here we go. I have had a 2-day headache, and I'm exhausted. I'm anxious. I'm afraid to even sleep. But I choose to be okay anyway. Because I am. I'm here on this call. I feel like I've been on a binge. My body feels really wrung out. I can't eat. But I choose to love and accept myself anyway. Even though I've had this horrible 2-day headache. It's debilitating. I allow myself to be open to the possibility that I'm resisting feeling better. And that's a part of the anxiety that I feel. And I do completely love and accept myself. I allow myself to consider the possibility that while the headache is really bad, and I can't keep anything down, and I'm even afraid to go to sleep, I consider the possibility that all this anxiety, or the bulk of it, is triggered by the thought that I might begin to feel better. And something about that doesn't feel safe to me. Doesn't feel appropriate to me. Even though that sounds a little crazy. This is so interesting, okay. Just a minute. These terrible headaches are just like getting hit in the head with a hammer. Over and over and over again. And there may be a form of punishing myself in this. And even though I may have worked through the need to punish myself, I'm still hitting myself in the head with a hammer, with headaches. Because I got used to it, and my brain recognizes that this form of punishment of myself, even though it's really unpleasant, is a survivable event. Because my brain's primary objective is to keep me safe. And it is used to the headaches. It understands that they're bad, but that I won't die of it. But when I look at getting better, or take action to keep myself from having a headache, There's a part of my brain that recognizes that this is new territory. And it doesn't feel safe. Because living without headaches might be dangerous and could kill me. I give myself permission to allow my brain to relax so that I can put down the hammer of these headaches. I choose to see clearly that it's safe for me to eat and sleep and feel better. And that it's safe for me to live without headaches. And even though there may be more work that needs to be done around this, I allow myself to take in nourishment and get rest right now. And I agree to come back and have a look at this again when I'm feeling better. I allow myself to relax and let go of all this anxiety. It no longer serves me. I let my brain know that I am safe. It's safe for me to feel better because I do profoundly love and accept myself. And I honor myself for doing the things I needed to keep myself safe. Peace. Okay, Irma, let us know how that felt, how that round landed. I'm going to stay on a minute. That's the last tapping of the day because I do need to go, but let us know how that landed. And let's see if you're feeling better from that. I'll just talk here a little bit. Just waiting. How did that land and how are you feeling? Did that calm all that down a little bit? Get a drink of water. Okay. Irma says, I'd say I'm down to a 7. Okay, and anxiety was at a 10 before, so that's noticeable improvement. You may want to come back and do this again. You've got some it looks to me like you've got some pretty complicated things going on in there. She says, I'm hoping that will improve with some time. I really want to try to eat something. I would think you can probably eat something now. I mean, the stomach part, I think, is calmed down. I mean, you know, there's, on the lives, we do the best we can. You know, there's always more to be done, always more improvement that can be made out there. So, yeah, that's well done. Good improvement there. All right, this was, well, let me check the time here. Yeah, I am going to have to bounce. Okay, I want to thank everybody for showing up on this live today. These were some really vulnerable shares from you members, and whoops, the camera just went weird. I so appreciate you showing up and being willing to be vulnerable and to turn loose to some big things, and just know that when you feel better, that this recording will also help others feel better too. So come back and do this work again. And so much love from me to all of you. And I look forward to seeing you again on the next live, which is not going to be until January. I will pop in and say hi about various things, but this was the live tapping for this month. So if any of you are still interested in more tapping work with me in a little different setting, my group Breakthrough is still open, And you can still, we have a weird reason. Truly, the founding members rate of $47 a month is still open. It is still open. We've had some tech glitches. We're leaving it open, partly because my web wizard is the one I talked about whose son was in a terrible motorcycle accident just a few days ago. And I really can't bother her to do anything with changing anything right this minute. So you can still come in if you're interested in being a member of Breakthrough. This is a membership site. Those meetings are way cooler than just doing a Facebook Live, because those take place on Zoom, where we can see and hear each other. It is so much better. And the meetings are 90 minutes long. We meet the first 3 Wednesdays at alternating times, the first 3 Wednesdays of every month. And members have full access to a keyword searchable library of recordings of the Zoom meetings, and also a keyword searchable library of a lot of these recordings too. You don't have that ability to do here in the Facebook group. So yeah, members have a lot of benefits with that, and a lot of time with me. Lots of 4.5 hours a month with me. Plus you get some bonus videos that are foundational things. You get grounding, chakra clearing, and brain balancing. The grounding one is especially critical. That is something you need to learn and use every day. And those videos are also included in Breakthrough. So I'll post the link. I think the link is pinned at the top of this group. If it says that it's $97, it is not. It is still $47 a month, which is a killer deal. If anybody's interested in some more work with me, I would encourage you to jump right in there. Because once my web wizard is kind of back together here in a few days, we will go back in and change that. It is going to go to something different than that. We have a different promotion, but it will not ever be this low again. So again, thank you to all of you. Mwah. And I will see you again really soon. Bye all.